In 2026, 41% of all new code is written by AI, and SpaceX just bought Cursor for $60 billion, the largest startup deal ever. The race to replace the programmer is on.
So, what exactly is generative coding AI? It turns plain English into working software. You describe what you want. Build a Toto API with authentication, and the model writes the code line by line. It can generate, complete, debug, and refactor on command.
The science behind it is the transformer. From the landmark paper, Attention is All You Need. It works in 4 steps. First, your code is broken into tokens. Those tokens become vectors, numbers that capture meaning. Then self-attention lets every token weigh every other. Finally, the model predicts the next token, one at a time, until your program takes shape.
Building a coding model takes 4 stages. First, pre-training on 2 trillion tokens, costing tens of millions. Then fine-tuning on code and instructions. Next, reinforcement learning aligns it with human feedback. Finally, it is tested on SWE-bench, real GitHub issues it must fix.
The evolution has been breathtaking. In 2021, it was simple autocomplete. By 2023, chat and multi-line suggestions arrived. In 2025, agents like Claude Code and Devin could work on their own. And in 2026, they run in parallel, many agents coding at once.
Modern agents do not just autocomplete. They run a loop. Plan, act, observe, and reflect. The agent makes a plan, takes an action, checks the result, and adjusts, repeating until the problem is solved. These are agents, not autocomplete.
Meet the Big 5 coding agents. Anthropic's Claude Code leads on autonomy, scoring over 80% on SWE-bench. Cursor, now owned by SpaceX, powers millions of developers. GitHub Copilot has more than 26 million users. OpenAI's Codex and Cognition's Devin round out the field. The competition has never been fiercer.
How is coding AI graded? On SWE-bench verified, models fix real GitHub bugs. GPT 5.5 leads at nearly 89%, with Claude Opus close behind. And DeepSeek, fully open weight, trails by only a few points.
Then came the money. OpenAI's $3 billion bid for Windsurf collapsed. Google grabbed the talent for over $2 billion. Cognition's Devin hit a $26 billion valuation. And at the top, SpaceX acquired Cursor for $60 billion. An all-stock deal reshaping the industry.
In 2025, Andrej Karpathy coined a phrase, vibe coding. You give in to the vibes and forget the code even exists. By 2026, that idea has grown into full agentic engineering. You direct, and the AI builds.
And the market is exploding. AI coding tools were worth $7.3 billion in 2025, growing over 25% a year. 87% of developers now use AI every single day. Enterprise spending on generative AI has more than tripled to $37 billion.
But here's the paradox. Developers feel 24% faster, and 3 in 4 say they are more productive. Yet a controlled study found they were actually 19% slower. Code churn doubled and careful refactoring dropped. AI feels fast, but the science says slower.
Speed comes at a cost. Nearly half of AI-generated code contains a top 10 security flaw with almost 3 times more vulnerabilities. Worse, 1 in 5 suggestions references packages that do not exist, opening the door to a new supply chain attack called Slopsquatting.
2 forces are driving the boom: China and NVIDIA. Chinese open-weight models jumped from 1% of global usage to 30% in just 2 years. DeepSeek trained a frontier model for $5.5 million, a tiny fraction of the Western cost. And NVIDIA, now worth $5 trillion, controls 86% of the AI chip market.
So who really cashes in? NVIDIA sits on top at $5 trillion, selling the chips behind every AI. Google, at $4 trillion, rides its Cloud and Gemini. Microsoft owns GitHub Copilot and Azure's booming AI business. Amazon powers developers through AWS, and Meta bets big on open models. Every code suggestion is a GPU running somewhere. This is not investment advice.
So here is the trillion-dollar question. Will you direct the AI or be replaced by someone who did? We have covered the science, the agents, the deals, the paradox, and the risks. The lesson is simple: learn to direct it. If this helped, like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks for watching.